Should have worn my clothing that I'm sponsored by. I know I'm not, don't worry.
Right guys, Dan Hendriksen here. We are in the middle of a lesson and I thought I'd stop the lesson again as it's Tune-Up Tuesday, and I thought I'd show you what's going on with when we're trying to make decisions between hitting a hybrid or a long iron. So I've got Lee with me today. Hello Lee. So Lee, what are you looking at?
I'm deciding between a 19 and a 22 hybrid or a 3 and a 4 iron, and I want to see what sort of distances I get, where's the gap in, and which is the best for my game, because I'm really undecided.
Now Lee plays off a 12 handicap, and this is quite a normal thing. I mean, even myself making a decision between playing a long iron to maybe a hybrid, it's a big decision to make. Now what we thought we would do today is just go through a little gap test with Lee to just see which club kind of works best for him, or are they all going to work good for him, and then he's going to have to decide which club he uses going to different golf courses. Let's get Lee to hit some golf shots, let's get some numbers, have a little look at those ball flights, and just see which one he needs to put in the bag moving forward. Okay, we've got Lee to hit probably 5, 6, 7 shots with each club. So we're looking at his 3 iron, his 4 iron, he's got a 19-degree hybrid and a 22-degree hybrid. So we're trying to have a little look at the numbers to see which one would gap in best to his golf bag on a general day, should we say. Let's go and have a little look at his numbers. So we started Lee off with his 3 iron, then we moved into his 19-degree hybrid, then we moved into his 4 iron, and then we've got his 22-degree hybrid as well in there. So the interesting bit with all of these is it's so subject to his strike. Now when we go at the 3 iron, let's start with the 3 iron here. His average carry is 212, okay, which is pretty much about where he's at. He's with the 3 iron and his 19-degree hybrid. You can see here 212 with his 3 iron and 212 with his 19-degree hybrid. However, I've had to take out 3 mishits with his 3 iron, and he just caught them a little bit scuffy, didn't quite catch them cleanly off the club face, whereas when we look at the hybrid, I could actually leave all of them in there and he's pretty much getting the yardages that he wants to get from that club. Every single shot that he's hit, he's in the 200-yard mark, whereas when we look at these 3 iron, his drop-offs are 188, 196 and 191, whereas in the hybrid it all stays up in the 200, which is something that he jumped on straight away when we were discussing it. Now if we look at the numbers to numbers, so ball speed, he's got a little bit more ball speed out of his hybrid than he has his 3 iron. He's launching his hybrid 1.5 degrees on an average, slightly higher. He's revving the ball, so his backspin numbers, he's 1,000 revs more with his hybrid than he is his 3 iron, which is, I would kind of expect that from Lee. And then his height, peak heights, he's averaging 37 yards high with his 3 iron and 44 yards high with his hybrid. Let's move on to 4 iron and then his 22-degree hybrid. Again, if we look at the 4 iron and the hybrid, the yardages are exactly the same pretty much. He's got a 197 average carry with his 4 iron compared to 196 average carry with his hybrid. But again, he hit 2 really poor shots, proper sort of scuffy shots off the club face, where he got, well, one was 72 yards and the other one dropped down at 167. So massive drop-offs when he hit that 4 iron. But to be honest with you, the rest of those shots were pretty good. If we go into his hybrid, I've actually taken 1 out of there, but to be honest with you, again, his drop-offs are not quite as extreme. He's got 1 shot which he really didn't quite catch, which still went 189 yards, which is but if I took that out, it kind of brings him up to where his 4 iron would be. But again, if we look at the numbers from it, his ball speed is 5 miles an hour quicker out of the hybrid. His launch angles are basically the same, 18.1 and 17.9 from 4 iron to hybrid. His spin rates, again, you can see that the spin revving up in his hybrid compared to his 4 iron, so he's getting more spin out of the hybrid than he is his 4 iron. And then he's 4 yards average higher with the hybrid than he is his 4 iron. So Lee, what are you taking from those numbers?
Positives. to start with is that the gapping's the same, so I've got options now.
Yeah.
I think for everyday use, I like to have a lower lofted club for wind conditions, just in case, or I need to do a punchy shot, you know, into wind slightly. So I think I'm going to put the 4-iron in, even though the numbers are slightly better with the 22 or more consistent. But I think the 3-iron is going to come out, and I'm going to put the 19-degree hybrid in, mainly because of the drop-offs. If I've got 200 to 210 into a green, I want to know even my worst hybrid shot is going to be there or thereabouts, whereas my worst 3-iron shot is going to be 20 or 30 yards short, and then that's a yippee chip and a 2-pot, and suddenly you've ruined your card.
So there's no real right or wrong here for Lee to whichever one he wants to put in the golf bag. Now, what we have to do though is we have to take into consideration where Lee plays most of his golf. Now, he plays on a golf course at the south coast of Cornwall in England, which is on the cliffs and can be quite windy. So he wants to put a club in the bag that he can flight just a little bit lower in his longer clubs, which is why I've suggested that out of this setup that he kind of chooses an iron and a hybrid as an option to go into his golf bag. I kind of like the fact that he's choosing the 4-iron maybe a little bit more over the 3-iron, purely because I think that the 4-iron he can knock down, and he's going to be a little bit more consistent with that club than he is maybe his 3-iron, just looking at the numbers and the drop-offs that we've seen from those two clubs. I played a golf course recently in a tournament where I was playing Trevose Golf Club, again in Cornwall, which is a proper links golf course, and I had a 3-iron and a 4-iron in my golf bag. Now, day one, there was no wind, so you would say that actually I could have put any club in that situation. I had a situation on that first day where there was no wind, and I really needed to hit the ball high to get it to land soft into a par 5. So I really needed maybe my hybrid to be able to flight it better than my 3-iron at that time. However, on day 2, it was very windy, 40-mile-an-hour winds, and you would argue that I probably needed my 3-iron over the hybrid. However, the situation was that I had a downwind shot, again, over a bunker into a tight pin, and actually the hybrid would have made more use of that shot than the 3-iron. So I had to manipulate the 3-iron to get it onto the green. I couldn't access that pin, even though I put it into the middle of the green. So like I say, there's no right or wrong as to which club that Lee puts in the bag. What he has here though is he has options. So for Lee, I think he keeps all of these clubs in his cupboard back in his home. Maybe if Lee goes away abroad and plays some courses where maybe he's got some carries that he needs to get over, then maybe having those hybrids might just work that little bit more for him. But let me know, put your comments down there. Have you been through something like this type of test that Lee's just gone through today? I want to hear what sort of clubs that you're putting in the bag in the top end. Are you more of an iron player? Are you more of a hybrid player? Do you want to see that ball flighted down? Do you want to see it up in the air? Put your comments down there. We'd like to hear what you have to say. Thank you very much for watching. We look forward to catching up with you again soon.